about 3 inches to add the fullness to the front. Okay, so this is that. The waistline is the same. I did not touch the waistline. As you can see, the only part I touched and added something to is the center front. You can see that the center front and the side. Okay, so what I have here is, I can also, because I'm separating this at the zipper to add my seam allowance, so I'll just come at the middle line of the back for both of them, and I'm going to also open up, so I'll be able to add my the little fullness we have on that pattern. So remember, this is the zipper allow. I don't want to cut everything together. I don't want to cut it out, but when you are making this particular dress, please ensure you cut and separate this and this. Okay, so I call this part A and this part B on the left and the right side of the zip. So I'll be opening up my peplum once again, and I'll come in with my piece of pepper to add to make it fuller, or just a little bit fuller, because this particular peplum will be difficult to achieve it if you have to make the peplum directly as a flake. Okay, so I'll also open up at 3 inches, or you can even open up at 2 inches, because what I'm seeing at that point is not too open. Okay, so the lesser you open, the better for that particular flow. Okay, all right, so I'll also come over here once again, and I'll also add and I'll open up at 3 or 2 inches. Okay, so I'll also round it up. The waistline is not tampered with. Take note that nothing, the waistline is not tampered with. All right, people, so these are what we added right now. This is what we added. Okay, so we added all of this. That is what we added to our peplum. You can see them. So it's drafted right from the bodies and it's added. So the way it is now, all you are going to do after sewing your dress completely, if you are adding fullness to the side, then you have to notch the center front. The back already, we don't need any notch to the back. The back will be separated as center front and center back, center back, and you add your zipper allowance accordingly. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I will just have it this way. So you are going to sew from one side, okay, leaving one of the sides open. For this side, you are going to close the side of the bodies before you sew this peplum. So you sew this part to the bodies and sew this to the bodies together. So at the end of the day, this is what you'll be having. Can you see that? This is how the peplum is going to appear. Okay, so the one on the front, which is this is the one on the front, is sloping, going this way, as you see it on the thumbnail, like that, and it goes into that, while this part will be coming from the back. You can see how the back is looking. It's looking normal, but that of the front will be coming like this. So you simply pick up this pattern and place on your fabric, cut 2 of it, turn it the normal way you turn your peplum. You can see that is the shape we have for this peplum. Okay, so remember that this is the center back where you will be cutting off to add your seam allowance. Let me just cut it off. I don't want you to get confused. So when cutting this on your fabric, you cut this separate, add 1 inch seam allowance, add 1 inch seam allowance, and make sure you make notches at the side, the center front, the zipper part, and the side that is going to be attached to this side. Okay, all right, so that is that for the front piece of this peplum. I believe you understood what happened here. So that is the main purpose of this tutorial. So I'm going to set what I have on this pattern aside, and I want to talk about what we have on the lower piece of that dress. So what we have on the lower piece of that dress is actually 1420 degrees. What do we mean by that? 1400, that is 1440, is derived from 360 times 4. So if you are making a full circle, is 360. So if you are making 1440, it means you are making 4 circles, 4 full circles in one waistline. So that means that if your waist is 36, for example, you are going to divide your waist 36 by 4, and waist 36 by 4 is 9 inches. So you will be using 9 inches divided by 6.28 to cut each of your peplum. Okay, so 9 inches divided by is the radius. We are calculating the radius right now. So 9 divided by 6.28, I'm trying to calculate it so I'll be able to see exactly what we have right here. Okay, so 9 divided by 6.28 will give me 1.4. So I have 1.4 as my radius. So that's 1.4 right now. I'm going to use it to cut the radius of my peplum. So the radius of my peplum R is equal to 1.4, and the length of the lower peplum is 8 inches. Remember, this first peplum we made was 6 inches. So since it's 8 inches now, it means we are going to cut our fabric using the dimension of fabric. So to determine the dimension of fabric we are going to use, we are going to make use of the formula D, which is dimension of fabric is equal to length plus R times 2. That will give you the quantity of fabric we are going to use. So here my length is 8 and my radius is 1.4 times 2. So everything, 8 plus 1 point is 9.4. 9.4 times 2 is going to give me about 9 times 2 is 18.8. Okay, so 18.8 inches. It means I'm using half a yard, because a yard is equal to 36 inches, and half of it divided by 2 will give you 18 inches. So that is 18 inches. So you are using half a yard for this particular peplum. So the half a yard we are using is for 1/4 of this peplum. Remember, we are making 1440, which is 360. So for each circle you need half a yard. For each circle you need half a yard. So that is to say you are making use of half yard times 4. That is 2 yards. So 2 yards will go in for you for this circle. That is if you are using a different fabric for your lining. But if you are doing lining together, it means you are using 4 yards for all of this. So now I'm going to show you how to fold in your peplum. So if this is your fabric, your full half a yard fabric, you are going to fold your half a yard fabric like this. Once that is done, you fold it again. That is how to fold 360 degrees peplum. So once I have folded it, I'll be taking my measurement right away. The measurement I'm taking now is 1.4, starting all the way from this point. So my 1.4, from here to here, I will mark 1.4. From here to here, I will mark 1.4. From here to here, I'm going to mark 1.4. Okay, so that is the circle. So I'm going to take everything I have here as the length. I'm assuming what I have here is the length of 8 inches. So this is my length of my circle. So I'll simply cut what I have right here on the base, and I'm going to cut the radius. Now I have one full circle. So this circle now I'm going to duplicate it or make it four times. That is 1,400, and I'm going to cut one part of it for all of them, and I'm going to keep joining the 4 of it, and attach it back to that waistline you are seeing on the thumbnail. Okay, so you are making this 4 times. So if you follow this calculation we had just right here, you are going to get that peplum exactly the way it is right there on that dress. So after joining the 1,440, then this one comes on top of it. Okay, you now sew this one on top of it. Remember, the length of this is 6 and the length of this is 8. Okay, and it gives you that perfect effect. All right, people, so that is how we come to the end of this tutorial on the peplum. I believe you learned a lot once again. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, and drop your comments on the comment section and your suggestions as well. So thank you for coming once again, and see you in the next class. Bye.